Hi, I'm Mary Wing Soares, and this is It's Your Choice. Today with me is our budget candidate, Chad Franz, right?
Correct,
Is it
yes.
Franz and not
Franz,
Franz?
yes.
Franz, okay. And Chad, you're a newcomer to our town, aren't you?
Yes, we moved in September 2018, so fairly new.
And you're jumping right into the political arena here.
Well, I just retired from the Marines September of last year, so I really miss that sense of service and that humanitarian aspect that we used to do a lot in the Marines. And I figure that roles like this is a good way to continue that service and, and a way to help our community.
So what brought you to Londonderry, and where did you move from?
So I moved from Nashua before here. I was the last 9 years I was in recruiting duty for the Marine Corps. I've been in a total of 16 years, but the last 9 years were on recruiting duty. So we moved to Londonderry. The reason why was because my daughter and her mom live here, and felt it was very important to be as involved as possible in her life and co-parent with her mom. And we love Londonderry. I'm originally from the other side, Derry. So know the area, and I'm just really fortunate to be here. So.
Okay, and so you're running for one of the 3-year positions on the budget committee. You have 2 other people who are running for that same, there's 2 spots, and so you, Joel Olson, and Christine Patton. Christine is the only incumbent, and she wasn't able to be here today. She had plans to go away for the weekend, as it's a holiday weekend,
Right.
So I'm sorry not to have her with me today, but I know she'll have opportunities before the election to come
Wonderful,
in
yeah.
and talk. And then Joel, I didn't hear from Joel, so I'm not sure why he wasn't able to be here. And then there's 2 other people running, Steve Rialt, I believe is how you say his name, and Jonathan Kipp, who are running to fill somebody's 1 year of somebody's position that had moved out of town.
Right.
And Jonathan had a personal emergency. His daughter was in an accident down in Virginia, so that's why he isn't here. I didn't hear from Steve. So I wanted to give you an opportunity, though, to explain why, what you do right now and why you believe that you would be a positive influence on the budget committee.
Okay, well, thank you. And honestly, I really appreciate just the opportunity to come here. I know I didn't say that at the beginning, but it's just an honor to be here and talk to the community, because that's where, that's who I'm talking to. And it's really important for me to be the voice of people, but also be their ear as well, because how am I going to know what to say if I don't listen?
Sure.
And we have 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. So as I mentioned, I just retired from the Marine Corps, received a medical retirement after 16 years of service. Many of the wonderful people in this community might have seen me around town with my service dog, Judy.
Yeah.
And people will continue regardless of the outcome of this election. But for one of the responsibilities running the recruiting operations in Central Mass was that I had to analyze a budget, maintain a budget, take a look at the line items, and was directly responsible for any cost-cutting measures while maintaining the requirements. And I think that's important to understand that you have to spend money to maintain these programs. But let's question, I did a lot of why. Well, let's dig into this. Let's do some research. I love analyzing things and numbers and stuff. And I think there's a healthy way to communicate with people, and then there are unhealthy ways. And I enjoy navigating through conversations regardless of what our views are, because I think anybody has a lot of value to a lot of value with their thoughts and their feelings, emotions and stuff. And I want to hear that, because that's what's going to make me have more well-informed decisions, is asking the questions and
Right.
stuff.
So I have noticed that you've been coming to school board meetings and to town council meetings to try and hear, it's certainly during the budget season, you were there
Mhm.
for those meetings. And so you are making yourself aware of what our town budgets look like right now.
Right.
Do you feel as though we've been doing a good job managing our town and our schools, or do you think that there's some things did you question some of the things that were in the budget?
Mm-hmm. So, I think our town manager did a really good job at when he gave the state of the town regarding how in 2013 we were at a $5.19 per thousand tax rate, and we're at $4.99, which is currently, and I think that's very impressive. I think that there are costs. There are costs, as I mentioned earlier, that you have to incur, that you have to pay for, but let's do it smartly. Let's peel the layers of the onion back and try to understand the why. Now, the budget committee, we make recommendations, not policy or we make recommendations and stuff. But again, as I was saying, to have well-informed, educated decisions behind that, I don't think it's something that anyone should take lightly.
Right.
It's not I'm going to go to budget committee because it's just a stepping stone or whatever. I'm a firm believer, you bloom where you're planted. Yes, are there goals? Everyone has goals. But my focus right before me at task is getting onto this budget committee and looking at the things that's presented before us. So are there questions to get back to it? Do I have questions? Yes, there's a lot of questions. One of them was regarding the AEDs that they were talking about putting into all the town council or all the town vehicles and stuff like that. And I think AEDs are absolutely amazing. They have shown, let's look at the facts,
They save lives.
They save lives. My question is, liability-wise, what is in place for the individuals that are administering that?
Right.
Because I know there's the Good Samaritan's law that protects people like you or me, but what if now it's town, it's putting in their vehicles, and that was just a question I had
Sure.
about that. I think that during the two deliberative sessions, the school and the town, I was definitely very well. I was very well informed, and there's a lot of people that have a lot of passion in this town. But the truth is this, and I heard during a little bit when you were interviewing the individuals going for town council, is to get out and vote. And the last election that we had in town, 1,991 out of the 25,000 residents of Londonderry voted. On top of that, less than 100 were at the town deliberative session and the school's deliberative session. And I understand people have reasons, people have lives, they have work. I work for a staffing agency. I do the sales in Manchester. So I have a full-time job. I have a family. My beautiful bride, we have another one on the way.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you. And, I have lives too. I have things going on too, but especially with the extending the polls to 6 a.m., I think is great. Unfortunately, people have to be there at 5:30. I know.
It is what it is, and I'm happy that we are extending the hours, because it will allow,
Right.
as I said, a lot of people that work out of this town
Mm-hmm.
The opportunity to come and vote first, and then not have to worry about the traffic or whatever keeping them away from the polls in the evening.
Right.
So, that is a positive thing, and I'm hoping that will bring more people to the polls, but we're only expecting around 3,000 at the most.
Mm-hmm.
And that, again, out of 24,000 is a frustrating number. Sometimes the weather works against us, though, but we do have a service for elderly people who need to get a ride. We do have, and it doesn't matter if you're elderly, if you don't feel like driving in the snow, you can call the town and you can call individuals that put their names out there that say, I'm happy to give you a ride to the polls. So, you know, we do take getting people out to vote very seriously in this town, and unfortunately, as you said, we had less than 100 people at the deliberative sessions, and, you know, less than 2,000 at our last election.
Right.
That was a local election.
Right.
So I'd love to see the national numbers come to our local. I think we do. You know, people would have a lot more say in what we're doing.
Absolutely, and I agree with that. And again, I know that there are reasons and whatever, but I've heard before, if you want to affect your everyday life, go to vote in town or run for town elections, and because that's what is going to affect your
Right.
everyday life.
Right.
Especially here in New Hampshire, how, you know, with property taxes and everything else, you know, that people, money is definitely very near and dear to just about everyone.
Sure.
And I want to save as much as we can while maintaining and looking in the future too, because you can't live, you know, it's kind of like living paycheck to paycheck. You know, you just focus here, there. You know, you have to plan for events or things that are coming up, and I think that the town is doing a good job. I do think that if there's a bid out there and a proposal for an article, I think that multiple bids would be good. I heard during the town deliberative session that they were talking about having multiple contractors bid, but they pay for the plans. You know, if you're going to get the work, you pay for the plans, and it's all part of the negotiation.
Sure.
And I think that's important because that's one way we can save some money.
Right.
And you know, just asking the questions. Well, you know, does that work? Does this work? Who else have you talked to? You haven't. What can I do to help you do that?
Sure.
You know, those are all things that I can do now, and I have been questioning, but in a more formal setting on the budget.
Yeah. So you said you work in Manchester, and so you're having to deal with budgets there as well, or?
Yes, and well, yes, I am. Not as grand as I did with the Marines. So I had recently started working with Coworks because I mentioned I just retired from the Marines September.
And
So-
I know I say this to you every time I see you, but thank you for your service. I
Thank you.
appreciate it.
I really appreciate that a lot. You can a lot of I've heard that a lot, and I'm just humbled of the gratitude, because you think about people that like our Vietnam veterans and other Korean War veterans, especially, you know, that era, and the things that happened to them when they got
Right.
home. And it's a volunteer. Well, there were drafts then, but
Right.
you know, now it's a volunteer service. But
But even
you know,
those people
they-
who were drafted could have gone to Canada, and they didn't. They chose to, you know, accept the draft and go.
so
they needed-
selfishly or selflessly. Thank
yeah.
you.
And they needed our thanks as well.
Yes, absolutely. So those, you know, I appreciate the gratitude. To me, the ones that didn't make it home are the ones that plowed the road before me
Right.
so that I could serve. Those are the well, the ones that didn't make it home definitely are the heroes. The
Right.
ones lost of limbs, those are heroes. They really are. You know, I did what I did. I enjoyed what I did. 90% of what I did was humanitarian work, which is just amazing, you know, from being in the Philippines, rebuilding high schools, to Malaysia, and we built a bridge between two towns. They had across from the river from each other. They're huge with trade, but the closest bridge was 25 miles away, so 50 miles just to get to the town. So we built, you know, and stuff like that. And a lot of people don't hear about those things,
Right.
but I'm glad that they don't, because I don't think the Marine Corps does it for the look at me.
Mm-hmm.
They do it for the people, and that's what matters to me, is the service to the people. And to be honest, since I've gotten out of the Marines, I feel like a fish out of water, because it's like, all right, what do I got to do? And it was suggested, hey, Chad, what about, budget committee? What about something in town and stuff like that? And it's just great that I've spoke with Jen Gannon about the school. They have a couple of organizations in the high school, and Tuesday they're having a presentation with service dogs and
Mhm.
stuff like that. And I'm just like, wow, what a great way to plug in. So we're exploring that and opportunities there. So
Well, I'm sure I'll see you on Tuesday then.
absolutely. So short answer, with my current job, no, I'm not. I'm more of a sales professional.
Mm-hmm.
As I mentioned, I work for co-work staffing. We're right by the airport, and we do recruiting for both direct hire and temporary
Mm-hmm.
employees. And I'm the one that does the soliciting or I solicit business and I talk about the features and benefits I have.
Mhm.
I have a budget for advertising and stuff, but with the Marines, that was, line items, that was, probing the budget requests and then just deciding, accurately deciding, what was the minimum effective budget that we needed.
Mm-hmm.
So,
So it's a different animal now that you have
different
that now.
animal.
Yes. So we know why you're running,
Mhm.
giving back to the community, and I applaud you for doing that.
Thank you.
You have a lovely family. How old's your daughter? You have a daughter and a child on the way, right? How old's your daughter?
So my daughter, Adriana, she's she'll be 12, 12, April 30th. My son, he's 4, just
Oh,
turned
okay.
4, and a little one on the way, August 11th. So
Nice. So is your daughter in the middle school?
she is. She's in 6th grade.
In 6th grade.
Yeah.
I teach 7th grade this year.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. So I'll have to look her up. Let her know
Absolutely.
I've met her dad.
Yeah, she's on Team Tsunami.
Oh, okay.
So she loves it. It was funny when they were transitioning. She was like, "Oh, I need to be on Tsunami," and because they're the ones that do the field trips and stuff, and not the other ones, the pods, right?
Well, teams. Yeah.
Teams, thank you. Teams, they don't do that, and
So is she having a good time?
she's having a good time.
Good.
So
Good. I'm glad.
just really amazing teachers.
Right. They
Absolutely.
all bring. Every
Oh.
single team brings something unique to them to
Mhm.
the team. So they got some really nice groups.
Right.
Good teachers.
Her teachers are definitely very much involved. The communication that they have, I'll shoot them an email if there's a concern, which there has been,
Mhm.
on certain things, reaching out and everything. I know, I have nothing but good.
I'm
I'm
glad
so
to hear
happy,
that.
and we have other towns that we have experienced the
Mhm.
education system there. And that was the other reason why, because we had Gabriel, our son, and we moved here to be closer to our daughter, but we also knew it's like, hey, our Londonderry school system is like amazing,
Right.
and that is an environment that we want to raise our family, knowing that we were going to have another one eventually, so.
And looking down the road, there's a possibility that there'll be full-day kindergarten, which is going to change the budget, definitely, because you'll have to staff a building with, the staffing shouldn't change, but, no, it would change, because you'd have twice as many
Right.
classes.
Mm-hmm.
So, knowing what our school budget is right now,
Mm-hmm.
do you think that the school is doing a good job managing the number of teachers that they have? I mean, have you delved into it to that degree?
I know the 74.3 million proposed budget for 2020 for the school. I have not I have not dived too deeply in that, but I've built some good rapport with Jen Ganem. I think as I continue going to the school board sessions, hearing the teachers, getting out, infiltrating the community, hearing more what their needs are. Because do you need this? What data states that you need this? If it's logical, then, that's something, let's explore it.
So I was just speaking with the town council candidates, as you mentioned, and one of the comments that was made was that there's a difference between the functional capacity of a building and the actual capacity of a building. And right now, because the difference in the learners that we have coming to the school system, the functional capacity is much lower than the actual capacity level. And his comment was that we need to, get that word out there and get people to understand the difference between functional and actual capacity. Have you heard those two terms? Do you have an understanding of the difference between those two terms?
I'd be willing to hear some more about it. So correct me if I'm wrong. So actual capacity is how many people, because they remember they were talking about it during the school deliberative session. So the actual capacity is how many people you can physically fit in there. And they gave the cafeteria, for example, 500. But if you open up tables and you'll be lucky to get 100 people in there.
Right.
So from my understanding, functional capacity is what the facility, what is that area being used for, versus actual capacity. How many can you legally stuff in there per fire marshal?
Right. And so in our schools right now, the functional capacity is much lower than the actual. The actual capacity right now is the functional capacity.
Okay.
So at this point right now, we are full, even though our numbers are down, because of the needs of the different learners that we have in the school. So that's going to be an important topic for the budget committee as we go forward, because the school is talking about in the future, certainly within the 3 years that you would be if you won the election on the budget committee. We would be looking at, expanding the schools, either Moose Hill because of full-day kindergarten, or because of the influx of people coming into our town. So I just, I think that as you're going forward, that's something that you're going to want to pay attention to.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I took notes.
I saw.
I don't have all the answers, nor will I ever, but I think that because there are a lot of amazing, very intelligent people in this community that know a lot more than I do about things, I think I need to be a sponge to learn that stuff. As I was away for quite a while in the military and stuff, so do I think I have tools that are very transferable to the budget committee? Absolutely. The attention to detail, the questioning, let's explore options, fiscally sounds, let's try to keep things low, but maintain.
Right.
Like there's a difference. People automatically think, oh, let's keep things low. Yeah, 100%, I agree with that. But we also have to maintain.
Sure. You want the
maintain
fire
where
and
we're
the
at.
police to get to your
Oh,
house when you need
absolutely.
them.
Yep, 100%.
So you got to have the staffing in order to do that. Was there anything that you wanted to specifically say to the potential voters?
I just wanted to thank them for this opportunity, and thank you for this opportunity to continue the service that I am very passionate about. Another thing that we were really big on in the Marines is time management, and I think that I have that ability to manage the time and properly be in this role with a family and a career, because how many other people have done it as well? I don't have all the answers, but I love to learn. I love to research. I love to just get as much information, because I'm not a big knee-jerk reaction, make a off-the-cuff decision. Let's sleep on it. Let's look at the bigger picture type of thing. Let's get as much knowledge or data, indisputable data, as possible, and I hope to bring that to this role.
Awesome. So I want to give you an opportunity to look directly at the camera and ask for their vote. And we're reminding you all that March 12th from 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. is when the polls are open here at the Londonderry High School gym is where we vote in town. And we're giving you an extra hour to get here, so we hope you come. And take it away, Chad.
Thank you. My name is Chad Franz, and I recently retired from the Marine Corps and want to continue my service to this wonderful community. And I ask for your vote on March 12th to elect me for a 3-year position on the Town Budget Committee. Thank you very much for your time, and please feel free to approach me with any questions, and even though I might not have the answer, I will get back with you regarding that. And I think your opinions matter. Please look me up on Facebook, Chad for Londonderry. You'll start seeing my signs around town, and definitely appreciate any support that you might have. So thank you so much.
Thank you very much. This has been Mary Wing Soares, It's Your Choice, and one of our Town Budget Committee candidates. Good luck.
Thank you.
Thanks for being here.
Thank you.